Hey there, sisterhood. April here, and I'm so excited to launch you into the universe of What's Her Superpower. Superpowers, sisterhood, secrets revealed. What's Her Superpower explodes onto the scene, alternating between real talk solo episodes and electrifying guest interviews. Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of What's Her Superpower. You are in for a treat today, and I cannot wait to introduce you to these two amazing ladies that we have with us today. We've got Becky Turner and Ashley LaCosse. I say it right?
You did,
okay.
Yes.
Practice. I had to practice.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies, so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
I'm so excited to have y'all on and just share your stories with our listeners. So
We're so excited to be here.
Thank you.
yeah. So who wants to go first?
I can go. It's fine. So Ashley and I are two girls with cancer. That's the name of our podcast, and that's the name on all our social medias. And basically, we are two girls who were both diagnosed with aggressive cancers last year.
Mhm.
And Ashley was a stage 4 neuroendocrine cancer. I was stage 3 breast cancer. And we connected through this journey. And now that, we are hopefully on the good side of things,
Yeah.
we wanted to start a podcast and to just share, not just what we went through, but share ways that helped us cope and helped us feel better.
Mhm.
And, we're just trying to share that to other people who may feel hopeless or like there are very little resources or, Ashley and I are big on the holistic side of things. So just share that there are different paths that you can go down as far as healing goes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's amazing. And you're right, because people get caught in that traditional
Mhm.
medicine, the cure, or, this is what we can do for you.
Yeah. I think people get scared into it. Like, I
Mhm.
think when you are first diagnosed, you're desperate and you're terrified and you
want the quickest
you
fix.
speak to your doctor and your doctor says you need this and this. And who are you to question it? You're a person
He's
who's
a doctor
dying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as we've learned on this journey,
You can question and you can go different routes. They might not love it. Your body may react well to it. It may not. It was hard. I found in the beginning, it was like, hey, if I go the holistic route, I kind of have one shot at this. But if I go the allopathic route, I also have one shot at this.
Yeah.
So it was like, how do I know which is which? I've since learned that, you do have a couple shots at it and your body is so strong and we don't give it nearly as much credit as it deserves. And you can kind of play around with it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So Ashley, stage
Yes.
4. Wow.
Something.
Yeah. Yeah, that is something.
And actually, I didn't know it was stage 4 until I met with the oncologist. So, I was told in the beginning it was just stage 3. I had to go through surgeries.
Just stage 3.
Stage 3.
That's all.
No big deal.
Yeah.
And then, and that don't get my hopes up if the oncologist tells you there is no treatment plan. And right there, I'm like, I'm gonna die. I was like, oh my God, like this is crazy. And it's a lot to take in. It really is. And then when I ended up meeting with the oncologist, he did confirm that it was stage 4 because the cancer was found in my appendix. And it had unfortunately burst. My appendix burst and spit the cancer in my whole abdominal cavity. So I ended up going through 3 surgeries in 8 months last year.
Wow.
That's pretty crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. I would guess so. And, it's funny because we were supposed to do this yesterday. And Becky texted me and said, hey, Ashley's got it. She's been waiting for this appointment.
Yes.
Is it okay if we postpone? Of course it's okay.
Right. And I appreciate it because that appointment was I have needed somebody for hope. And he gave it to me yesterday. So I might cry. I'm a crier. If you guys have watched our podcast, I cry. I'm just so grateful because in this journey, it takes you to places that you've never thought
Dark
that you could be.
places,
Very
yeah.
dark, and even though I don't have active cancer right now, I've been struggling with health issues with my stomach, and to be able to get just a little glimmer of hope that I got yesterday, it changes.
It's life changing.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy for you.
Me too. I just feel so much better. I'm a crier.
It's really
don't
awesome.
feel bad. I'm a crier too. So this might be a little wet episode.
And the form of cancer that I had and don't recently have is hormonal. So it's a contributor, but I was a crier before. It just enhanced it. Yeah.
Yeah. So
picture like PMS symptoms on steroids.
Yeah. That's where my water works. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. It's hard enough when you're, I mean, as women, we have so much hormone issues going on throughout our life.
Yes.
And then to have the kind of cancer that affects your hormones, I can't even imagine that.
It's been a crazy journey.
I bet.
A whirlwind.
Yeah. The type of breast cancer that I have is actually hormone negative. It's HER2 positive. However, the chemotherapy has put me into early menopause. So I too am starting to get a little emotional, and I'm not much of a crier. In private, I am.
I'm rubbing off on her, I think.
We did an interview this morning and I actually cried. It's my first time on the podcast crying, and she's just rubbing my leg and I'm like, I didn't want to do this.
Yeah, but I was proud of her. Because it's a release, and our body does need to cry. Because if you think about it, we're holding on to so much, and our body needs to release it somewhere. And it comes out in different ways, but crying is your best medicine. When you have to allow it, but don't let it consume you, and then release it and carry on.
Yeah, you have to get that resilience where you have a good cry, you go,
and then you get back up.
Yeah, and men they have never understood when women cry. Sometimes we cry to keep from ripping their heads off. So it's like, I can cry or I can kill you. You have your choice.
What's your choice?
I've seen my husband cry 2, maybe 3 times. It wasn't on our wedding. It wasn't when I was diagnosed with cancer. It wasn't when I was told that the cancer was gone. More recently, it was when my dog had a lump that I thought was an extra nipple, and he's tearing up, and I was like, "Are you kidding me right now?"
It was the buildup of her, because I think he wanted to be strong for her. Men, right?
Yeah. Well, he said to me, "You don't see me go into my car and break down," and I'm like, "But why don't I? Like, I need to know that you're letting it out."
Women need that, so we feel more loved, even though it's hard for men to show it. But we don't know the struggles they're having because they don't openly express it, right? As we're like,
But that being said, I so appreciate how strong he was for me. If I had a husband having a breakdown every time I had a breakdown,
you guys would be both.
Oh my word. So I needed him to be strong. So, the fact that he did say that he would have breakdowns in private, like I don't want to say I'm happy about it. I'm heartbroken about that, but I am thankful that he is releasing, because repression is so toxic to our body. And I am the number one to say that repression, I'm so bad at it, but it does it, but like it will go in your body and it will find a place to latch on to. And I truly believe that, part of the reason I got sick is because I never dealt with a lot of issues.
Same. I've had, we've all have stuff we've dealt with, but it sits in our bodies.
Yeah. And, between pressing down things, stress, all that, I mean, that it just eats away at our bodies. It's poison.
Yeah, it is.
Now, Ashley, are you married also?
Oh, no, I did this single. I do currently have an amazing boyfriend, but I was a full-time single mom prior. But it was hard because I wished I had that support. It's a hard journey, but I had an amazing family, and I had half amazing good people, good friends, and then other half not so much. So on this journey, I learned that what's not serving me, I need to cut it out. And I've had to block out a lot of people because they just, I don't know. I don't know the answer, but it was unfortunate that they were unable to be there for me. But I mean, that's a lesson we learn on these journeys, and when that happened to me, it was so hard and I held on, but at the end of the day, I had to release it and better it was better for my body,
Mhm.
because like we're saying, you hold on to that negative and it just eats you away. And as soon as I did, I became happy. My life changed.
Mhm.
I won, what was that?
A
A
contest.
contest I won. Like I got like a partnership, like things fall into line when you truly become happy.
Yeah. Yeah. Because what
That's,
we put out, we get
that's
back.
right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's true.
Yeah. Now, were y'all friends before?
Mm-mm.
No.
So
We
how
met
did y'all get together?
Yeah,
This
so
journey.
I was excuse me, I was in Mexico for treatment in the early part of being sick. And I remember sitting there getting my IV bag that day, and I got a Facebook message from a guy that I had graduated a year ahead of, but a guy that I knew. And I hadn't talked to him in almost 20 years. And he said, there's a girl that I'm good friends with, and she was just diagnosed with cancer, and she's from our town, and somehow I didn't know her. And like, what do I do? How do I help her? How do I get a GoFundMe going? How do where can I, can I, get her in touch with you? And so I reached out to her, and her and I just connected instantly. So yeah. And we realized we lived a mile apart, and tons of mutual friends, same age, just had no idea who each other was. And our town's not big, 30,000 people maybe.
Yeah, it's small.
I mean, big
Wow.
enough,
Yeah.
but yeah, the fact that we had all these mutual friends and just didn't
You
know
would
each
have
other was
thought
crazy.
Through the years of being in this town, we would have met.
She was friends with my brother.
Yeah, I knew her brother.
So I
through
don't
an
know.
ex-boyfriend. Like, I never met her though. Yeah.
It's funny how, God puts, and I don't know, if any of you are Christian or believers or what your beliefs are, but I believe that God puts people in our paths when we need them.
Absolutely. And takes people out of your paths.
Everything happens for a reason
you
in
don't
life.
need them.
I believe that.
Yeah.
Someone said to me recently, she feels like people are put in your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime.
Right.
And like, it's not so
And
true.
then they get re-put in your life because they're testing if you're still that silly. Just kidding. I do believe people have that they can change, but they have to want to. You can never make somebody change.
Yeah.
That's on them, and that's in their own hearts.
Yeah. And that's true. And, it was one of the things that you touched on as far as like people, and it's hard. Did you find going through this journey that you've been on that people just don't know what to say to
what
you?
to say?
Yep.
They don't know how to
You're
help.
like a plague.
Yeah.
Don't touch me.
Social
You're gonna
pariah.
get cancer.
Yeah, right. I think it's more that people are scared that they're going to offend you. And, even just, it's sort of a similar situation. I had a cousin who passed away a couple days ago, and I don't live in the same province as them. I'm not close with them, but I reached out, and I was hesitant to reach out because I thought, do they even want to hear from me? Is it appropriate for me to do that? But then I thought, I wish that people had reached out when I got sick. So
Same.
I thought, you know what, I just have to get over my own pride on this, and I'm going to reach out and let them know that I'm thinking about them. They don't have to respond.
And that probably made their day.
Maybe,
right?
I don't know. But yeah, a lot of people have sort of disappeared from our lives just on their own accord because I think they were scared to offend or didn't know what to say. It's okay. Because they were there for a season.
Yeah, and the best part about that is just letting go and forgiving.
Yeah.
We don't have to be friends with them. And we're learning this. I'm learning this a lot on this journey, that I need to release and forgive, and just, they may not be in my life again, but that's okay. It's okay.
Well, I think every relationship that we have, friendship, romantic, whatever, it really does shape you, and it sets the stage for what is going on in life. And it is what it is. If it lasts a lifetime, that's amazing. And if it lasts for a season, that's okay too. Just take something from it and move on.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I think we learn, like you said, and I used to tell, when I was in the Navy, I told my sailors that it's like you learn more from the bad leaders or friends or whatever in your life than you do from the good ones.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's just like, that's not what I'm going to accept in my life.
Life is just a big learning lesson. You learn something every day.
Yeah.
You do.
Well, I think, and we've definitely learned through this journey too, that you can't be the victim in it. You have to see, it's so hard, but you have to see the positives in it. You can sit back and go, cancer got me and I'm this and I'm that. Or you can be like, yeah, I have it and I'm going to learn from it and I'm going to help others learn in the meantime.
Like before I got diagnosed, cancer was the scariest word I've ever heard. Like,
yeah,
it takes so many lives. And then when you get it, you're like, oh my God, I'm going to die. That was my first thought of like, I'm going to die. Yeah, why me? And then never hold on to like the why me's and stuff, because if I didn't get it, it wouldn't have made me the person I am today. It wouldn't have brought us here. It wouldn't have brought all these positive things. I'm a better person because of cancer. In the beginning, I was like, I am angry.
Oh yeah,
I was mad. And then I learned to let that go and really
kind of embrace it, because
that's your life. It's a part of
in the grand scheme of things. Like if your life span is 80 years, you know, you and I were sick for over a year. That's such a small fraction of your life. And to hold on to that forever and be angry about it forever, it's not worth it.
Like cancer complicated my life. It has changed, right? But both of ours, like going forward, we have still body issues, our minds, everything. We're not who we were before, but
that's okay.
That's okay. We're okay to be alive. We're happy to be alive. We're here.
And I think it makes you, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but appreciate every day.
It does.
Yeah.
Appreciate time with people that you love and care about. You know, I'm married, and there are days where I really want to punch him because he annoys me. And then I think about it like, man, this person was here for me and he loves me unconditionally. It doesn't matter what my body now looks like. This man loves me, and I'm so thankful for that. And it's like, where I think we live in a society where divorce is so easy now. I mean, I'm a divorced person. I was married once before. I know for a fact that divorce is easy. And it just makes you really appreciate those in your life who do truly love and care about you.
That's right.
Yeah, that stand by you through all of that. I remember telling my first husband, you know what, because I had some kind of health scare. I forget what it was now. And I knew in my heart that I didn't feel like I could rely on him. He would not be there for me if I really, got sick. So, and that's such a sad thought about the person that you're supposed to spend the rest of your life with.
But then that's when you're like, okay, well, you don't serve me anymore. So,
come on. You are the weakest link.
Yeah. Exactly. I'm going to go find what serves me.
Yeah. Because, I mean, and I've heard the phrase before, and it popped in my mind when y'all were talking about, how you feel about getting the cancer, is that people go through their lives and things happen to them. But if we change that attitude of things happen for me,
I love that.
then it's a whole different attitude.
Yeah.
It's all mindset.
Yeah,
when we talk about that all the time. Like when you're told something, if you can find, and it's hard in the moment, and it was hard for me, it's hard for Becky, but it
is still sometimes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like just the other day, I thought I was dying because I've been struggling with my health, and it's like, those they do creep in, but you just can't stay there. Yeah.
Yeah, because everybody's going to have those days. It doesn't matter if you've, broke a nail or, you're dealing with something big like cancer. I mean, everyone has those days of like, just nothing's going right. So, now, Becky, you talked about you went the holistic route.
I went both. I initially went holistic, and I thought I was going to cure everything with holistic. I felt very led in that direction. And then once I came back from Mexico doing my treatment, a lot of the cancer had shrunk. All the cancer in the breast itself was gone, but the lymph nodes were still there. And that's obviously the concern. And I had to very much be humbled and decide that, I'm going to trust the healthcare system, which I was not a fan of at the time. And I was going to have to do this very aggressive treatment, lose my hair, feel like a shell of the person I used to be. And so I ended up doing both. And I really do think that both of them working, in simpatico is what helped me get through it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think a lot of it, you really reevaluate like what you're doing, what you're putting in your body. Because this is something weird that I didn't think about the timing, but I'm doing a sugar detox right now because I've got a friend of mine whose husband has cancer, and the doctor told him sugar is a cancer magnet.
Yeah, they love it. They love glucose.
Yeah. And you don't think about it, but I've been doing it. Today's day 8, and I feel so much better. And it's just
you probably struggled in the beginning, though, didn't you? Those first few days.
Oh, because I have a horrible no caffeine. You know, it's like I love sugar.
Yes.
But,
and people are thinking sugar is just, candy or sugar in your coffee. No, like that's carbohydrates, that's refined sugars, that's your breads and things like that. Your body loves it. And a lot of diseases live off of that. And you don't realize the impact when you're eating like that. You're actually fueling diseases in your body. You're creating inflammation. You're creating acidity, different things that diseases love to live in.
That's why you have to have a healthy balance.
Oh, but it's so hard.
It is hard. It is. I still struggle. I had a Lindor chocolate yesterday because those are my favorite, and I just did it.
Yeah,
I was like, it's so good. Because when I
live
and it's moderation, everything. When I was diagnosed, that was the first thing for me. I was like, I'm cutting out all refined sugar, and I did it, and it was hard. Yeah, because I love my chocolate. I love it. I'm not so much candy or pastries. I just love chocolate. But you have to do what your body needs.
Yeah. And I'm sure, through this process, you've cleaned up your diet, you've you've changed everything about the way that you live.
Yep. Yes. Prior to getting cancer, I meal prepped. I lived to my knowledge pretty healthy lifestyle. I was in the gym 5 days a week, full-time single mom. I also worked a full-time job. I had a cookbook business. I think I was also just worn down. My body had a lot on it. And and we don't really know where it came from, but your body takes in a lot, right?
Yeah. Now, Ashley, did you go holistic or did you go traditional?
I didn't really have an option. Where the cancer had been, how it metastasized, there wasn't any treatment options for me. No cancer, radiation, just surgeries. Yeah. What did I say?
You said cancer.
Oh my goodness.
Chemo
and radiation. There was so I had that, and the only option at that time was surgery. So I had to go holistic route. The next step for me was I knew I still didn't feel good after my invasive second surgery. And my brother-in-law has suggested, and I never had heard of it before, live blood analysis. So I went and got that done. And in my blood, we found microscopic parasites. I was infested in them, heavy metals, mold, fungus. My liver was failing, and I had blood clots. So within 4 months, we were able to straighten out my blood. And then, so I've been working on that. So since then, I have a ton of different supplements that I take, to fight that the cancer doesn't come back. Right now I'm working on my pancreas, intestinal tract, and my liver. So, well, your liver needs to be working, so no disease can grow or stay in your body.
Your liver is your main detox organ. So if it's sluggish, which most people's are because of our diets and our drinking, non-fatty liver disease, alcohol or non-alcoholic liver disease, fatty liver disease. It really makes all of our livers poor and not work optimally. And I think that's why we're seeing so many people sick. It's really because of our lifestyle.
But the greatest part about the liver is the only organ that you cut half of it out, it will grow back.
It's a regenerative.
So it's like,
it's important. It's
very
important to take
important.
care of your body, just in general. Long and short of it, take care of your body.
And I think we just take it for granted until something, either we hear something or somebody close to us or it happens to us.
Exactly.
And sometimes that's what it takes.
It is a wake-up call. I
can imagine. So what are y'all doing now? I know you've got your new podcast. So are you working? I mean, single mom, I'm assuming you're working. No,
I can't. Unfortunately, the 3 surgeries have left me very what's the word?
Sore and tired.
And I'm very tired. Like every day I get into bed about 6 p.m. because I'm just done for the day. And I usually actually, most days I have naps. It's taken a real toll on me, but I have hope that each day is going to progressively get better. I was very hard on myself because I was like, why am I not? I'll never be the old me. Like I had energy. I was a go-getter.
I was a hustler.
I worked and I did all these side things. Like that's just who I was. And now I'm like, I can't even get through one task a day. And that's what I've actually had to be patient with myself and allow myself, like we'll schedule like maybe one podcast or two, or and then that's it for my day. Or I'll do a meal prep the next day and that's it for my day, because my body really needs to rest to heal.
You don't realize how invasive really surgeries and treatment is on your body. My benefits, my insurance company couldn't understand why in January, when I hadn't even started radiation yet, why I wasn't ready to go back to work when I had been declared cancer free a couple weeks earlier. And even now, we're now 6 months past that. They don't understand why I'm not back at work
Isn't
yet.
that crazy?
And I'm like, I'm sicker now, or more tired now, or mentally more strained now in 2024 than I ever was in 2023, because you're just fighting for your life when you're going through it. And once the process is done, and I actually just had my very, very last cancer treatment on Friday. So now I'm officially in the healing stage, but things are coming out. Like we talked about repression. I love to repress. And now it's like all coming up. So
Well, and and I think this podcast that y'all are doing together is a great avenue for that.
Yes.
Depending on how open you want to be. But we
are very open.
Very.
I can see that. But I can't even imagine how, because your body is fighting, you're fighting for your life. And
you are.
And I mean, like Ashley, yours has been so internal. Well, both of you have been very internal, but with the surgeries and I just breaks my heart to even think about it. And but
I look back on it and I'm like, I feel like I've done harder things. I mean, again, it's just it's a season. I've had seasons that I in the moment felt so terrible, and so 10 years out from this, I'm gonna look at it and be like, that was just a season, and it was okay. It was hard, but it was okay. I'm stronger than that.
I wish I was. It just
you are.
I am. I think it's the more physical and mental for me, and the draining. Like right now, I'm already starting to dwindle, but it just happens, But and time will heal. It will.
And I'm sure that has a lot to do with it, because when you don't have energy and you can't be, you're not the person that you were.
It's hard.
Yeah,
for sure.
I have sad days, and I'm like, I just want to be able to, go to the gym, go to work, but I don't get to.
Yeah, who knew you'd miss working, right?
Isn't that something? But not even like.
You probably miss the interaction. You miss the independence.
I miss having a purpose in life, and like I have a purpose. I am a mother. Yeah. But that little extra to kind of keep you sane, I guess. I don't know. Your mind isn't running. You have to do this, do that, when you have a job, you have structure. And right now, now we have our podcast, and that's structure. That is where my outlet is, because I feel like I'm somebody again. I feel like so true. I'm not just laying in bed recovering or healing.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it's when you said purpose, it hit me. It teared me up, because what you're doing with this podcast is such a purpose. I'm sorry. I know you're a crier. I warned you.
Let's do it together.
Yeah. But what you're doing, what the two of you are doing, has such a purpose, and it's God's purpose for you. Because and you're going to touch so many people and make such an impact that I'm just, I'm happy for, I hate that you've gone through everything you've gone through to get here, but I love the fact that you're using your journey to help other people.
Thank you.
God couldn't have given, well, not that God gave us cancer, but God couldn't have given two stronger people.
Right? We kicked its
Fifth.
butt, and here we are.
Both her and I have been through so much in life, and we're both so resilient. And it's like, just add it to the pile. Like, we have a testimony, and we're so happy that we have an outlet to share it.
Exactly.
Yeah. I love that. I love that for y'all, and I love that for the people that you're going to impact.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So, I ask everybody this. My last question for you is, Becky, what is your superpower?
I think my superpower is that I can stay positive through even the darkest of situations. I am a rainbows and sunshine kind of girl. Even in my darkest days, it was like,
Cheers.
You're fine.
So, Becky, what's your superpower?
I think that I can stay positive in the darkest of times. Like, I can always see the light at the end of the tunnel, and it's not all, I mean, sometimes it's faking it and fake it till you make it. But, because your body and your brain, they hear what you say and it knows what you're feeling. So if you're feeling dark, you're going to be dark, right? So I'm very good at staying positive even through the darkest of situations.
Yeah, I love that. They say that your body can't tell the difference between like being nervous or afraid and being excited.
Oh, really? It's just like a endorphin rush, right?
Yeah.
Adrenaline.
So tell yourself, I'm excited. So it's all in how we frame it.
I love that.
All right, Ashley, what is your superpower?
I think my superpower is I'm a very strong-willed woman. So I can use my voice to my advantage, because I don't like someone telling me, or the doctors, or how I'm feeling. I think that's a big part in this journey, is that the doctors know one thing, and we should listen and this and that. But I think the biggest thing is to advocate for yourself. Always ask questions, and then if I can use my voice to help others. Advocate for themselves, or even to just help them heal. I'm big on helping people. I love that. I got this big motherly heart, I guess, on me. But Becky and I complement each other very much.
Yeah, between her boldness and my positivity.
I can see that y'all complemented each other. And I'm just so excited about the women and men that are going to hear your podcast and are going to feel empowered to stand up for themselves and just have hope through their cancer journey.
I love that you said "and men" too. In this process where we met you, trying to find guests for shows and stuff, I did meet a fellow who was going through pancreatic cancer, and he's such an inspiration to talk to. And I really believe that he feels like there's hope talking to us who have aggressive or had aggressive cancers and remained positive and strong through it. And it's so nice to meet people through this journey who, can relate, but can also feel uplifted by what you have to say. And it's not just women. It's not just someone who has breast cancer. It's people who have all kinds of illnesses.
And then we look at him as an inspiration.
Yeah, pancreatic cancer is insane.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And he came through.
That's a hard one.
It's like, what an inspiration.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, the main listeners I have are women, but, some of those women's husbands, spouses, brothers, whatever, are going to have it. So, I mean, it's so prevalent nowadays that everybody knows somebody that's had cancer.
Yes, this is true.
So, and hopefully through this, not only will you help the people going through it, you'll help the people that are supporting them.
Yes.
Yeah. And maybe the friends who don't know what to say.
You don't need to say anything. Just be there.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, ladies, so much. I can't wait to hear your podcast, and I am excited about what you're doing, and I'm honored to be able to share your story.
We're so honored to be on your show with you.
Well, thank you, everybody, for watching another episode of What's Her Superpower. And don't forget to tune in next week for another episode. Talk to you later. Bye. Forget unicorns. Unlock your true potential with actionable tips, inspiring stories, and a whole lot of laughs. Join the mission. Subscribe now. Find your own What's Her Superpower. Join the mission.